What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, Shadow Dragonite is coming back to dominate. I absolutely love the fact that dragons are performing so well in the Open Great League. Dragonair, Shadow Dragonite, Guzzlord, Goodra for 2-0 Butters. Shout out to him for getting top 20 in the world with a Goodra that is so spicy. And today, I'm not being as spicy, but I do have a top performing team from PvPoke. We all know that PvPoke the recommended teams from PvPoke are very strong and have great potential. And I love trying it out when they are refreshed and have some new additions into the meta. And today's is going to be Shadow Dragonite, Lantern, and Registeel. This team did very, very well for me, even in bad situations like Shadow Alolan Sandslash lead, Bastiodon lead. It did very well. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think about this team. Let's go and get right into it. All right, getting into the first battle. Shadow Dragonite versus Shadow Alolan Sandslash. This is about as bad as it gets. Shadow Alolan Sandslash can shred through this team. Shadow Claw, Ice Punch, and Drill Run is completely core breaking. To be completely honest, Shadow Alolan Sandslash could beat this whole team by itself in the right situation. So we got to play this very carefully. We go ahead and go for Dragon Claw there. We do get a shield, which is perfect. I'm going to go ahead and try to catch an Ice Punch on the Registeel, but unfortunately I don't get it. So now Registeel is a sitting duck. It is going to be as useful as the trash can it once was, because I'm just going to let it soak the energy from Shadow Alolan Sandslash. I have no out in order to hard counter the Sandslash. I need to utilize a sacrifice of energy, and now I'm going to have to come in with Lantern and pray that I can load up and spark down before double drill runs. That is going to be the prayer. And obviously, if they have something in the back that hard counters Lantern, like, it's over. But we will be shielding. It is going to be an Ice Punch. Unfortunately, they swap out. It's an Azumarill. Okay, now we have an opportunity here. If Azumarill was the safe swap, that means this is the next best option for the Lantern. So what we're going to do is we're going to sacrifice our Dragonite in order to catch the charge move, because I'm all in, right? I only have one win condition, and that is that Shadow Alolan Sandslash was the only answer for the Lantern. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a Surf here. This isn't going to be enough damage to knock out the Azumarill, so I should be able to spark down, which I am. And now we see what they have. It's a Mantine in the back. Lantern is turning up. I just have to be very, very careful about them trying to catch the charge move. So I will throw a Surf here, forcing the final shield of the game, and now I'm overloading on energy. I do not want them to catch a charge move. That would be the worst case scenario, as Water Pulse actually does a decent amount. I'm going to keep loading. They swap out into Sandslash, so I will be able to farm down, and that, my friends, is going to be a good game. Very well played. All right, moving to the next one. Dragonite, Bastiodon. You know, bad lead. We're going to go ahead and go into Registeel right away. And they swap in a Shadow Victory Bell with that Magical Leaf update. So this is by no surprise, most likely Bastiodon double Grass, or Bastiodon Victory Bell and a Charmer, right? If there was an Annihilate in the back, if there was a Sableye, if there was a Medicham, it would have come out onto the field already against this Registeel. The fact that Shadow Victory Bell is the best option on their team to take me down, because Bastiodon isn't, and Pokemon number 3 clearly isn't, then we have a potential win condition here. So we're going to go ahead and go for a Zap Cannon now. We're hoping to apply the debuff. I know it's a little bit more energy, but the debuff is what we want, and the debuff is what we get. So now we have a unique situation on our hands. I don't think I can farm down in time, but I'm going to go ahead and shield and swap to catch the back-to-back. Hear me out. Hear me out. If it is a Charmer in the back, Registeel will be needed. The opponent decides to swap in Bastiodon, which gives me an opportunity to go for a free superpower here. This is massive damage, everyone. The Bastiodon has to shield. If not, I can't fully boom because it didn't knock out, but look at the health that we got. Now, we're coming in with Lantern in the hopes that they go a blind flamethrower for Registeel. We are cooking today, everyone. We are making calls today as we catch the resisted charge move, but we are able to soak it, and now we fully spark down. Is it a Charmer in the back? Let's find out. It's going to be... Watch the top right. It is a Charmer. It's going to be Wigglytuff. So now we have a win condition before us. We need to firstly ensure that we don't throw a charge move into the Victory Bell, which is still alive. Secondly, we need to, and there's the Victory Bell. We go ahead and spark it down. Secondly, we go for Surfs here. No reason to go for Thunderbolt. The opponent has to start shielding at some point, and our Registeel has enough health remaining, everyone. I kept it alive in hopes that my team read was correct, and it was. In fact, we're going to go ahead and counter swap and go for the Focus Blast, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played. The synergy that this team has in the worst boom of circumstances is very, very good. All right, moving to the next one. Dragonite, Annihilate. All right, hey, we got a positive lead now. I know I showed you guys 2 hard leads, right? I always like to. Now, positive leads. Annihilate right here. Really good matchup for us. I need to watch out and respect the potential Ice Punch. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. It was just a Night Slash. Maybe I miscounted there. But I'm looking to overload on energy. If there is something like an Annihilate, odds are there's something like Lickitung in the back, and I would love to have a superpower ready to go for that. Now, they decide to shield right there, and I have a situation in front of me where I have to give up 2 shields on my Dragonite in order to maintain switch advantage and farm down, and sure enough, there's the Lickitung. This is exact, like, Annihilate and Lickitung is like peanut butter and jelly, everyone. We're going to go ahead and go for superpower here. We're going to swap into Registeel now, and this is kind of a tough situation because, I mean, it's not that bad, right? But Registeel can't really farm down Lickitung. So what we're going to do is go for Focus Blast here. Actually, I probably could have gone for Zap Cannon. We're going to go for the charge move and then just not hit any bubbles. And the reason being is if you don't hit any bubbles, the move does less damage. Yeah, every single bubble that you hit adds on to the max potential. And as you guys see, yeah, I could have gotten away with Zap Cannon. Would have, I don't know if it would have made the difference. But we see Shadow Feraligatr come in. And now this is a very tough situation to be in for me. Shadow Feraligatr, if it has Crunch, which a lot are running now, if it has Crunch, I am in trouble. Now, my opponent is loading up on energy. They decide to swap into Annihilate. I counter swap into Dragonite to farm down, and then we will see a very, very close end game. I want you guys to pay attention to how much health that Registeel has, because this is going to get close. Feraligatr comes in, or has a Crunch, so this is now Bad News Bears. 3 crunches is going to be enough to take me out, and unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the Surf in time. Crunch number 2 does land. We do have the Surf, but it is charge attack priority, and it's probably going to be a Hydro Cannon, which is enough to knock out, but Registeel survived with 1 health point and a dream. We live on. Boom! See ya! And that is going to be a good game. Very well played. This team is fun. Alright, Dragonite, Magnezone. This is also against Trainer Raki, so shout out to him. But we have Magnezone on the lead. This is a tough lead for us. And we see Shadow Gligar swap in. This is like, along with like Shadow Alolan Sandslash lead, this is also where it gets really dicey because the Magnezone Shadow Gligar core is very tough for this team to handle. So what we're going to look to do is try our best to get ourselves the 2-to-1 shield advantage. So I'm going to go ahead and go for Zap Cannon here, and I'm actually going to undercharge it a little bit because if they let it go, I want Dragonite to come in and farm down. But they shielded, which is perfect. And now we're going to be able to get to the Focus Blast in time. And I decide to undercharge it as well, because I cannot win with with Lantern, I'm going to need Lantern to come in and farm down in order to potentially win. So I'm coming in right here. Blind Aerial Ace is what I'm hoping for, right? I'm praying that the opponent is going to throw, thinking it's going to be Dragonite, which it was. Blind Aerial Ace right there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and Spark down. I get, I think, 2 or 3 Sparks worth of energy, which is good in a 2-to-1 shield advantage against Magnezone. But this is going to be tough right here, because Magnezone coming in has energy, and Magnezone with energy is one of the deadliest things in the game right now, just because of the raw damage it can do. So I'm gonna respect it, and unfortunately for me, it was a mirror shot. So now I'm really far behind. I'm gonna go ahead and go for Surfs here, and my hope is that there's another flyer in the back. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for another Spark, because I really want to keep Lantern alive, as Magnezone might be the best answer. So I'm going to go ahead and swap into Dragonite here to catch the charge move. Maybe it's Mantine like before, right? And this is a potential win condition. Boom! We go down. We go full sacrificial swap mode, trying to sweep a Lantern once again. Wild Charge 2 is going to be thrown. Final Pokemon is a Feraligatr, so there is hope. But unfortunately for me, I just didn't have enough energy. So that is going to be a good battle. Could I have won with Shadow Dragonite looking back at this? Yes. But overall, I made the play, trying my best, and that is going to be a good game. All right, next one, we have Shadow Dragonair on the lead, Dragon Fight. And unfortunately for me, I'm the one falling behind in terms of fast move damage, but I will be able to take the charge attack priority here with Dragon Claw as they decide to no shield. Now, I'm going to see what they come in with. It is going to be Gligar. And this is what's really tough, is Gligar can do so well against the backline of Lantern and Registeel. But thankfully, Lantern does have access to Surf, which, as you guys know, is super effective damage. So all hope is not lost, right? We're going to go ahead and let the first dig go through. We were hoping that it was going to be a shield bait, right? But it wasn't. So now we got to go for Surfs. And this is where things get pretty dicey, as Surf is not enough to knock out. They're going to go ahead and throw here. We're going to go for charge attack priority. I'm going to have to shield. This is the tough thing, is I need to get this into the ones. And what's so good about this situation, I know it looks tough, but the Gligar has let Surfs through, which means it's close enough for a lock-on farm down. That's exactly what I'm going to bank on. Look, I went for the extra Spark there. Look for the, I wasn't going to win charge attack priority. Look at the health points. So now we see that Feraligatr is coming in. This is going to be a very close end game. So we're going to go ahead and shield. The hardest hitting move left in this game is likely this Hydro Cannon. And I was deciding whether to go for Zap Cannon and then Focus Blast and pray for a debuff. But ultimately, I don't think a debuff is going to allow me to survive 2 Hydro Cannons. So I opt instead to go for double Focus Blast. This is where things can get pretty dicey, because now it's going to be a race to the next charge move, and we get there just in time, 1 turn ahead of my opponent. And remember, the Gligar has no health. Wing attack is not gonna be enough, and the trash can lives on, and that is gonna be a good game. Very well played. All right, Dragonite into Annihilate. Good lead once again. Dragon Breath is going to be doing its thing. They swap in Charjabug. And I don't have the greatest answer for Charjabug, so what I want to do is soften it up with Dragonite right here, as I don't need a lot of raw health points in order to take down Annihilate. But now I'm going to come in with Registeel. Lantern could have potentially come in as well, but ultimately, if they were going to throw X's or shield baits, which they did here, the trash can is going to be better because we resisted. And now this is the tough thing. Zap Cannon and Focus Blast is not going to be enough to one-shot. So we're going to have to dance a fine line. I'm going to decide to go for Zap Cannon. My timing has been, I don't know why, what it is with me and lock-on, but my timing's always off. I let a fast move go through right there. But Zap Cannon will land. We do get the debuff, and now we have a tough call in front of us. I'm gonna decide to shield. It is gonna be discharge, but my opponent has lots of energy still, and I'm gonna, yeah, this is tough. I'm curious if I would have made a better call of no shielding. So I'm going to no shield this one. We survive, though, with 1 health point. So maybe it was the correct call. The health point gods are looking down upon me as Focus Blast does get the final shield. Now, I'm going to come in with Dragonite right here because I know Lantern can beat the Annihilate in the 1-0. And what I'm hoping for is, well, we just see that it's a Dugong, so I got to swap out right away. We get ahead on energy. Annihilate does come in, and what we're going to have here is an opportunity to aggressively farm down after Thunderbolt. My opponent is most likely going to be going for a Shadow Ball in order to go for the shield or the damage, right? Because if they don't, and I no shield a Night Slash or Ice Punch, it's bad news bears for them. So I'm just going to respect it and shield, and it was in fact Shadow Ball. But now I get to farm down, and Lantern has energy. Dragonite has health. Dugong, however, has an opportunity here, potentially, right? But what they need to do is be very careful about how much energy they overload on, because if I can get to this Surf, I win the game. So they throw just before I can get there, which is a good call by them. But thankfully for me, the health points on Dugong is too low, and the health points for my Dragonite is too high, where Dragon Breath is going to be able to take it. And that is going to be a good battle, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. Dragonite, Mantine on the lead. So somewhat of a decent lead for us because of Dragon Breath. Our whole team does well against the Mantine. We just have to watch out for the Aerial Ace and Ice Beam damage. Aerial Ace actually does a decent chunk, and I'm going to respect it. I'm hoping that we do see a Dugong swap in, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in Registeel. Could have had an opportunity to go for Superpower right there. I'm not sure why I didn't, and when I swapped, I realized, I'm like, that was a free superpower opportunity. So we go ahead and come in with the Registeel. We're likely going to be losing switch advantage here, which is going to be a bit tough. Because if this is in fact triple water, maybe like a Feraligatr or, not Feraligatr, sorry, a Whiscash back there for Lantern, then we're going to be in a tough situation. So what I'm going to look to do is give up a final shield here on Registeel. This is going to be forcing the Dugong to throw energy into us once again to take us out. And if they don't, well, then I get switch alignment, which is what I really want. And so we do get the final shield from them. We get the attack debuff right here. And then I'm going to try, I misclicked right there. I was going to try to swap and throw Focus Blast, but I think this is going to be the better call of letting the Registeel go down. And now I'm going to come in with Lantern and start loading up with energy. There's still the Mantine on the lead, but we don't know what Pokemon number 3 is. And now we're going to see that it is going to be... It's going to be Bastiodon. So, yeah, should have thrown the superpower into Dugong is what I'm looking at. Now, the Dugong has a decent amount of energy, but I don't know exactly how much. I wasn't keeping track right there, but I think it has a Drill Run ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and counter swap, go for superpower here. And unfortunately, this is... there's nothing I can really do. If I stay in too long with Lantern, I go down. Yeah, I misplayed. The misplay of this game for me... Yeah, we're going to get hit with a Drill Run right here. The misplay for this game for me wasn't going for superpower against Dugong when it swapped in, because that would have guaranteed switch advantage and even shields. Like we would have been fine. So I could have completely won that game. All right, next one. We got another Mantine lead. We're going to look to make adjustments. Mantine lead right here. We are going to do as much damage as possible, and we're going to go for the Dragon Claw right away. I want to chunk this health. I want to put pressure on them, because odds are I'm going to be shielding if they decide to throw. They decide to no shield. I'm going to go ahead and shield myself. Once again, I got to be prepared for something like a Whiscash, so I'm going to keep Dragonite alive. They swap out, and it's going to be Lickitung. Now, this time, I'm not going to just bail right away. I'm going to get myself an advantage in some way by throwing this superpower here, and it is going to be the health point. So now I'm going to counter swap into Registeel, and what you guys are going to see is something so classic. A lot of players don't do this, but this is an opportunity. The stop attacking situation. they potentially win if my switch clock is misaligned. So I'm gonna wait. And they decide to surrender. Now, the game doesn't register. We just had the pop-up notification because that was the GBL season pass, right, with the wins. There we go. It now registers. They did decide to surrender. So a cheeky little win right there, and ultimately good battle to my opponent. This team overall fantastic. I was in the 2700 ELO range with this team. You guys saw it against Shadow Alolan Sandslash, against Bastiodon, against... You know, we were close against the Magnezone there. I was literally one spark away from potentially winning that. But overall, it was a really fun team, and you guys can try it or other top-performing teams from PvPoke. I highly recommend you guys give those a try, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. So, like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.